Well, I should stop going back to Socrates every now and then. The challenge before modern organizations is this. If you have to be successful in today's competitive economy, what is important for you is to leverage on your expertise. Just because you are in the field for 50 years, 60 years does not mean you will be successful. How far will you convert that experience and expertise into knowledge as a commodity is the question. Individually, all of us will gain so much experience while doing something. How do we transfer that expertise and experience to other people at an individualistic level? There are many challenges. Now consider a modern organization as a living entity. An organization today, a typical organization may have thousands of people working with them. How does the organization create that knowledge base so that the knowledge gained by one person, the expertise gained by a group of people is shared among all others? That is the question. It may be with respect to production, it may be with respect to sales, it may be with respect to any aspects. How do you capture and how do you disseminate knowledge is the question. Collecting information is simple, please understand. Because information is nothing but some data in digital form, it can be captured. You can capture the sales data, that is information. But how will you capture that knowledge of a salesman who is in the field for 10 years and knows who are the potential customers and who is not? How will you capture that? That is the question. A normal worker working in the shop floor may know how to handle a machine properly through his experience. How will you capture that? There will be instruction manuals on how to operate a machine. That is information. Objective, specific information can be captured. Subjective information cannot be captured. That is knowledge. Experiences, user stories. How will you capture them? How will you quantify it? How will you store it? How will you process it? How will you disseminate it? Is the question. The area of knowledge management itself is not very old. The term was used for the first time in 1991. Knowledge management. But we have not successfully deployed many tools in knowledge management. It's an open area. Anybody can come in and do some work here. People say that Web 2.0 has finally given enough tools to capture knowledge. Knowledge should emerge from the mass, from the people. See Web 2.0. The tools given by Web 2.0 are helpful to capture that knowledge. Take blogs, take wikis, take content tagging. All this typically has enabled people to express whatever they feel regarding a topic, and technologies like wikis have enabled us to create a knowledge base collectively. Now, is this finally the shape of knowledge management system which will emerge? We don't know. Is content sharing, social networking, are they what we can call as knowledge management systems? We don't know. Typically today, what we understand as knowledge management systems are these. All the Web 2.0 features, if it is utilized in a proper way in an organization, can act as knowledge management system. But the question is this, let us go back to our own experience. We have a blog for the class. We are using it to upload our whatever. Has it become a knowledge base? Has it become a place where conversations between people is occurring? Though there is a possibility. There is a possibility, but is it happening? No. I'm not saying that it's not happening here. It does not happen anywhere. It is one thing to have a system and one thing to use the system. Just because there is a knowledge management system does not mean knowledge will be created, managed, stored and used. No. The user support is very, very critical. You are learning a lesson by your own experience. This will happen to you in your professional life also. This will happen if you think that you know how to build a social networking site and launch a website. How many people from MSRT have developed a social networking website? So many big flex banners there. How many of them are successful? Why is it so? Having a technology is not sufficient. Motivating people to use it is a challenge. I personally know that in a very big IT company which is headquartered in Bangalore, there was an attempt of which I was also a part of to create a knowledge repository. That is, there should be a system where depending on the project, depending on the technology, anybody can pose a question and anybody can answer, such kind of a system. The company believed that that could be the biggest asset that they will develop in next 10 years. So I am talking about 1999, 2000. Till date, I don't think even 10 queries are answered in that place. Take Yahoo Answers, Wiki Answers. Why so? Take our own university, the Visvesvaraya Technological University, had given a contract to a very big IT company to develop a student help center, wherein student could pose the question and experts could answer. No, it's not possible. Somehow, people are not using the available systems to its maximum potential. There may be some problem beyond technology. There may be problem of culture, there may be problem the way they see how they should use technology. We should go deep into this. Probably this is the reason why Raymond, Urban and Porter also have not talked much about knowledge management system. Today if you hit a bookstore, you can find racks and racks of books on knowledge management. But today, seriously, nobody offers you a degree course in knowledge management. You see any top US universities, they will not have a master's course in a graduate course in knowledge management. No. The idea has faded. We now understand that there are limitations for technology. So therefore, my conclusion for the topic is this, that one, the data management process cycle has matured. Using technologies and tools like databases, data warehouses, data marts, decision support system, data visualization systems, we know how to capture, manipulate, store and process data. That is mature area. But when you come to knowledge management side, the ideas we have are best patchy. The technology and tools we have are not mature. Much more work is needed. Definitely people who are interested can come and work on these kind of ideas. So we have completed a major discussion here. So discussion till now was, if we know what information system is, that is data manipulating systems, we have understood the central role of data. This is this. So as it is in practice, I will now talk about all the cases which are discussed in this way. There are 5 cases and 1 chapter and case in this topic. If I recall correctly, around 3 cases relate to some of the critical problems that we have in our field. 3 cases are about the problems associated with integrating data from different sources. Typical problems faced by data integrator are this. Problem number 1. In a typical organization today, there will be more than 1 department. Sales, administration, production, etc. Every department, if it starts having its own way to manage store data, the organization cannot have an integrated view of them. So the challenge is how to integrate the different data stores within an organization. One case pertains to this. Within an organization, if every department has its own way of storing data, how do you integrate that? There are solutions available, but the case goes beyond. This is simpler problem because it is within an organization. At least if you can't integrate everything, you can migrate all the data to one common database and say everybody start using a common database. That is possible because it is within an organization. That is simple. The problem is what happens when you have to integrate your data with external source of data, where you can't enforce common standards. Then what will you do? This is also a common problem. And your ability to do this will determine how successful you are. I will give a very concrete example. Let us say we have automated the health records of a patient in a hospital. Problem is there may be different departments, they may be storing it in a different way. Somehow we say we will integrate them all together to a common database. That is simple. Now the problem is, what will happen if the patient has to be referred from one hospital to the other? What will happen then? His health record in this hospital, we are storing it in one way. If it is a paper-based one, it's very simple. Give that file, they will take care. Now, when everything is maintained in digital format, how does this critical thing happen? This is very, very important. How shall we enforce this? There are some standard solutions. One case pertains to this. How to integrate data emerging from 2 different organizations having different standards. How to integrate? This is the second case. The third case is what to do with the legacy data. One more headache. Any organization from time to time will need to upgrade its resources. Upgrade. Yesterday they were using Lotus 123. Then they switched on to DBase, then to Fox Pro, then to DB2, now to Oracle. Now they want to move to cloud or virtualization. Moving to a new application is simple, but how will you transfer the data? You can't throw away the data. Some data can be thrown away. Data also degrades. This is a typical problem, and take this very seriously. This is one area in which you should have expertise. When you migrate from one solution to other solution, how to transfer the data? You may have experienced this problem. I am very sure you may have experienced. You do something at home, you then try to bring it to the college, you say no, that does not happen. You can't say it does not happen. It has to happen. You should know how to migrate data. From same application to same application, it's simple. Transferring from machine to machine. But I am talking about application to application. How will it happen? And what are the issues that you should know? Do you know there are certain practices in managing data? In database class or something, have you been taught about the regulations? How long should you keep the data? It's a professional obligation from our side. See, every professional has an obligation. How old data should we have? When can we discard data? For example, in an engineering college like ours, there is a rule that the marks, attendance records of every student should be stored for minimum 5 years. I think this year's attendance should be there for next 5 years. We should keep all the records. Then we should not throw it away. We should keep it safe in the record room for next 10 years. Only after 15 years we are allowed to give it to Ratiwala. There is a rule. Similarly, when we develop computer applications, when there are lots of data being generated, there are rules which govern us. How much data should be stored? And when we are storing personal data, how should we store them? Is there any encryption that we should apply to them? Most of you will be using secure systems, using passwords and all. How strong the password should be? Should we use MD5 checksum? Or is it too simple? These are all questions for which there is a professional obligation from our side. To make the things very clear, what I am telling you is, tomorrow as an independent software developer or as an employee when you are working somewhere, you develop such a system and something goes wrong, you are answerable to the court. As a professional, you are answerable. So it is better that you know a thing or two about these kinds of issues. There is a case which deals with that. Probably the person who is working on this case can work more and share that knowledge among others. The professional obligation of a software developer regarding data management. These are three cases relating to data. The fourth case is a very interesting case. It deals with a spirits company. That spirits company has operations both in Europe and US. But the problem is, in Europe, they can give their spirits, that is alcohol based drinks, directly to the retailers. They can sell them to shops. Once they sell them to shops with a batch number or RFID or something, they can know who is buying which brand of drink. That's a valuable information. That's sales information. But in US there is a regulation in different states that the spirit products cannot be sold directly to shops but to distributors. Distributors in turn will sell them to retailers. Now the problem is they can't track the sales. In Europe they can track, in US they can't track. But a company overall should know how the product is working and all that. So with such government regulations, how to take sales data, store it in data warehouse and make sense out of the data in four cases. Here we are talking about the regulations again. See, regulations. There are regulations on what kind of data you can collect and what you can't collect. We have more. The fifth case in the book is regarding a knowledge management system. The case is this, that it is a happy case. In a sense, it's a success story, wherein the Department of Commerce in US has developed a knowledge management system, wherein if a query is posed to a system, it gives answers. For a long time we are demanding such a system from someone. Today search engines don't provide answers. At best, what do? They provide a site which may provide an answer. They don't provide answers. In knowledge management system, the idea is that you pose a question that will answer as an expert. So the fifth case relates to a development of a knowledge management system which actually works. Go through the details and you will know more. I highly doubt whether such a subject-specific knowledge management system is possible. But a general knowledge management system is not possible. Very good. The Chatelain case is a case from Toyota. Toyota US follows a typical business process. The case is interesting because they discuss the business problem. The business problem is this. Toyota US does not manufacture cars. They import from Toyota Japan. Actually, the business logic is this. Toyota US buys the cars from Toyota Japan and then transfers the car to the dealers. It takes 9 days to transfer cars from the company headquarters to the dealers. 9 days typically. It seems that the cost of owning a car and not selling it, the company will incur a loss of $2 per day. That means for every car, they incur a loss of $16 directly because it takes 9 days to move from headquarters to the dealer. Then there is a time again for selling, that is anyway there. Then multiply this with the number of cars it sells. That is a huge number. So what is the loss it is incurred? Too much. This is a business problem. Now the question is, can we solve this problem using some information system? Very interesting. There is a business problem. Can information system help them to solve the business problem? You have to use all the expertise that you have developed to collect data, store the data in some way, do the analysis and give them a solution. So I hope the people who are interested in the job of working with the cases will work and upload their solutions. And just possibly a nice discussion may happen about that problem. So I close this chapter formally here. We'll start with one more angle of information system management, networks. One more important component in my